Hey guys, Synthetic here, and as you can see we are back for the series where we try to win the Drivers' World Championship with Daniel Ricciardo. And as you can see, we managed a quite solid start to the season. We have a 27-point gap to Lewis Hamilton, and here you can see the qualifying results in Spain, but as always they aren't so quite important because we are starting from the back anyway. And here you can see the race strategy. We have a dry race, so we try to make the one-stop work, which should be the fastest strategy around here. And here you could see my setup, which I also used in AOR. And here we are for the race now. It's 5 red lights and lights out, and away we go. And it seems that we got quite a good launch off the start. We managed to overtake both Saubers before turn 1, which is quite decent. And in turn 1 you can see there's not that much space, but we stick it into the inside and managed to find a little bit of space, but unfortunately we weren't able to make any position stick. And here you can see the left was quite open, so we went for the gap and managed to find another 2 spots, and now we are behind Julian Palmer, and it's quite tricky to overtake around here because there's this one line you really can take, and I was very cautious around this part of the track because I didn't know what the AI will do, how fast they will run through the corners, because they have less downforce compared to us. And here you can see we opted to go for a little bit of a dive into the inside of Palmer. We have to leave him a little bit of space because he's still on our inside, but at the end we were able to make the position stick. And here you can see we are behind Alonso, who shouldn't be a problem. So let's see how our straight line speed is, and we're gaining quite a lot, and we managed to get past quite easily, despite we were running quite a high gear setting. I think not gear setting, wing setting. I think we were running 411 as you saw at the beginning, and it might cause problems at the later stages of the race, but for now it seems to work quite well. And now we are behind Kevin Magnussen. You can see it's very difficult to follow because of the dirty air, and especially in this right-hander it was quite tricky, because if you try to push too much you can get wide and get a warning. And here you can see we went for the dive bomb and managed to slow the car down and gain another position. And here we had we have a yellow flag, but I wasn't sure why. And now in lap 3 we are behind Massa, and he's quite quick on the straight, so we have to think about a strategy how we can overtake him. And we decided to take a wider line on the entry, and here we go for the dive bomb. I think it's the best way to overtake the Williams. We just have to leave him a little bit of space because he was still alongside us, but at the end we were able to make the move stick. And in lap 4 now we are able to get past Kvyat. We managed a solid run out of the last corner, and that was basically done and dusted. And next up is Grosjean, who should also be quite fast on the straight, so we have to think of a plan there. And here you can see we managed quite a solid run, but again there's no way we can overtake here. But we have to keep in mind that the more laps we will do, the better our tires will get compared to the others on softs. And here you can see we tried to take it around the outside, but we went on the curb and lost traction, and that was basically this chance ruined. And here we tried to stay very close. We opted to go for the second gear in the first part of the chicane because we wanted to have a little bit more turn in, and as it seems it worked quite well. We weren't able to gain that much time on the straight, so we have to make a little bit of a dive, but at the end we were able to get the position quite easily. And next up ahead is Cohen. We are already in the top 10, which is great since overtaking here isn't that easy. Next up is Esteban Ocon, and here you can see as well our straight line speed isn't that great compared to the Mercedes, and again we have to go a little bit of we have to do a little bit of a dive bomb, and we were able to gain another position. And next up is Nico Hülkenberg, and especially in this part I noticed we could brake much later compared to the other guys with less downforce, and was working quite well, especially in this part of the track. It can be quite an advantage. So let's see whether we are able to make any kind of impression on him, and it seems that he didn't got a good run out of the last corner, so we stick it up on his inside and we're able to make another position stick. And next up is Sainz, who has the same engine as we, so we should be able to get a solid run out of him or on him, but as it seems it wasn't close enough this time around, so we have to stick behind him and wait on a better chance or a better situation to overtake. And at this point it cost us quite a lot of time behind him because he's quite a lot slower compared to our pace, but there was really no way through without taking a risk, so we waited the lap, and in the top left you could see that some people went already into the pits as we brake really late into turn 1 and were able to make the position stick on Carlos. And coming back to the people who went already into the pits, they might cause a problem for us because they will have fresher tires and the gap we have to them isn't that big. So we have to try really hard and put in really consistent and fast laps to keep our gap or even extend it if possible. But I think it will be very difficult because tire life is quite important around this track. And here you can see our laps got faster and faster, which also is part of having less fuel with every following lap. But here you can see Vettel went quicker and quicker every lap as well, so it might be very difficult to keep the lead. And here we are in lap 14 where we will go into the pits, and we are stopping for the hard tires, and as it seems we got lucky again and we have another safety car. I think it's the third safety car which saved our life here, and of course we are going now into the pits to basically avoid another stop, and changing onto the medium tires, and let's see where we get out of the pits. Seems that we stay in P4, which is quite solid, but on the other hand it might cause a problem as well, because now we have 3 cars in front who are quicker, and overtaking for us won't be that simple. And we have to see how it goes. Might be very interesting at the end of the race, but here we are now for the restart. We're trying to be very close to the cars in front, but it seems that we lost a little bit of time through the last few corners. And here you can see our biggest weakness over the race. It was basically our straight line speed. We weren't really able to compete with the top 3 cars, and I think we were slightly faster in the corners, but yeah, the disadvantage we have on the straight was quite huge, and the hards aren't really that kind of fast, so it might be very interesting, especially at the end of the race. And yeah, here you can see we were able to set faster laps basically every lap, and what you can see as well is that Bottas was now behind us with fresher tires, which also caused a little bit of trouble. And at this point we just tried to push as much as we could, because we know that the other guys have to do another pit stop, so we will have the net lead here. But I knew as well that we really have to push, and you will see in just a second why we had to push. And yeah, here you can see our laps got faster and faster. The confidence really was there, and in a second I will also show you my fastest lap of the race, so I hope you guys enjoy it.
We are dreaming in the dark. We are nothing more than dust. Search but you stay lost. We are reaching for the stars, but we're making this too hard, and I wonder where you are.
And here we are now. I was quite happy with the lap itself. I think it was really fast, or it felt really fast. And here now you're seeing the reason why we had to make a little bit of a gap, because we have another safety car, which really put me off a little bit, because as you can see we have to go for the pits, because if we stay out, we will rejoin in the lead, but the guys behind us had fresher tires and better straight line speed, so we simply have to go for the pits, and hopefully we will be able to take the lead. But as you can see, it was very, very close at the end. We weren't able to get the lead. Vettel was just about able to get us. But fortunately we have better tires, so maybe we are able to get him if we really push to the edge. And here we are now. The safety car will box in this lap, so we have green flag racing for the last two laps. And I think our restart wasn't that perfect. I think we should, or we could have been a little bit closer to him, but yeah, now it's do or die. We have to give everything we have, and straight away you can see our speed in the corners was quite great, but the understeer due to the dirty air was really painful. It caused quite a lot of problems, and you can see Vettel has his own problems. Seems that he has a bit of oversteer, so yeah, I think we still have a chance to win this race, but the chance is very small, especially if he's as quick as he's in the moment through the corners. So yeah, we have to find a part on the track where he seems to be weak, or where we can find time, and it seems to be in this corner. So yeah, maybe we can try it in the next lap, because we just have one chance to overtake. And let's try to get a decent run out of the next few corners, because they will be crucial. in order to make us as close as possible on the straight. And it seems that we got quite a decent run, but as you can see, our straight line speed isn't quite good enough to really mount the challenge, so we might think about the dive bomb in turn 1, and as you can see we are going for it, but it's not quite enough. But fortunately Vettel did a mistake into turn, I think 2 or 3 it was, and we were able to get around the outside P1, and at this point we have to push in order to get a gap, so we won't get overtaken in the second DRS zone. And yeah, here we are now in the last corner. As you can see, we were able to win the race, which was quite insane. And yeah, I think we definitely will need this win, because I always say it, we will need a caution, because there won't be lucky races every race, and here you can see the gap is 42 points, which is quite sizable at the moment, and also the constructors are very, very close. It's just 4 points between us and Ferrari, and yeah, that was basically the race. I hope you guys enjoyed it, and I hope to see you in the next race as well, and goodbye.